Hi, welcome back. In this video, we will continue where we left off in the last video, Form 1040, line 10, which is adjustments to income. For line 10, we will need to use Schedule 1, Part 2. The first line of Schedule 1, Part 2 is line 11. On line 11 of Schedule 1, educator expenses are listed. We will again be looking at the taxpayer Emily Green. Emily had $950 of qualified educator expenses. Qualified educator expenses include ordinary and necessary expenses paid in connection with books, supplies, equipment, including computer equipment, software, services, and other materials used in the classroom. Emily's expenses were for science supplies, so she can deduct this on her Schedule 1. However, only $250 of her $950 she spent is deductible. So we're going to write $250 on line 11 of Schedule 1. Line 12 is used to report unreimbursed job expenses for Army reservists, performing artists, and fee-basis government officials. This amount is derived from IRS Form 2106. Line 13 is for the Health Savings Account deduction. A Health Savings Account, HSA, is a savings account reserved for medical expenses. Funds that are contributed to the account are tax deductible on a taxpayer's return, regardless of whether the taxpayer itemized deductions or not. Line 14 is for active members of the military who are moving due to a military order. They can deduct their moving expenses on this line. Line 15 is for the deductible part of self-employment tax from Schedule SE. Emily has a small business selling science kits during summer break, so she will have a deductible part of self-employment tax. How to fill out Schedule SE will be explained in the small business and appreciation video, but for right now, we can go to Schedule SC and take the amount from line 13. 50% of self-employment tax is deductible, and this amount goes on line 15 of Schedule 1. Moving on to line 16, which is for taxpayers who are self-employed to deduct their earnings, such as accumulated interest on their contributions to self-employed, SEP, simple, and qualified plans. Line 17 is for self-employed taxpayers who may be able to deduct the amount paid for health insurance, which must be established under their business for them, their spouse, and dependents. Line 18 is used to report when a withdrawal of funds from a time-saving account or deposit, type of bank or investment account, leads to a penalty that is assessed and charged to the taxpayer. Form 1099 INT Box 2 or Form 1099 OID Box 3 will show the amount of the penalty. This amount would be entered on line 18 of Schedule 1. Line 19 is used to report alimony paid. For divorce decrees entered before January 1st, 2019, alimony is treated as taxable income to the receiving spouse and deducted from the gross income of the paying spouse. Line 20 is used to report tax-deductible contributions to a traditional IRA. Line 21 is used for the student loan interest deduction. If a taxpayer's modified adjusted income is less than $85,000 or $170,000 in filing a joint return, there is a special deduction allowed for paying interest on student loans used for higher education from an eligible educational institution. The student loan interest deduction is the smaller of $2,500 or the interest the student paid during the tax year. Emily did have student loan interest, and we will return back to this line in a minute. Line 23 is for the Archer MSA deduction. Archer MSA is a tax-exempt trust or custodial account set up with a financial institution such as a bank or an insurance company. Contributions a taxpayer makes to the account can be used to pay for healthcare expenses not covered by their insurance plan. Line 24 is for other adjustments. Some examples of other adjustments include jury duty pay, deductible expenses related to the renting of personal property, and the non-taxable amount of Olympic and Paralympic prize money. We are now going to return to line 21 and use the student loan interest deduction worksheet to see how much student loan interest Emily qualifies for. Emily had $3,070 of student loan interest. Pulling up the worksheet, it asks on the first line to enter the total amount paid in 2021 on qualified student loans. The maximum amount that can be deducted is $2,500, so that is the maximum amount that can be entered here. Line 2 of the worksheet asks for the amount from Form 1040, line 9. We'll go back to Emily's Form 1040, find how much she has entered on line 9, and enter it here. Line 3 asks for the total amount from Part 2 of Schedule 1, which is $779. Line 4 asks to subtract line 3 from line 2. If this is less than $70,000, then the taxpayer is able to deduct their student loan interest up to $2,500. If it was more than $70,000, you will have to calculate the amount allowable to deduct. Because Emily's income was less than $70,000, she can deduct $2,500 of her student loan interest. Once we fill in line 21, we can move on to line 26, where we will add Emily's adjustments to gross income. So we have $250 plus $529 plus $2,500, and that equals $3,279. We're going to go back to Form 1040 and fill out line 10 with an amount of $3,279. Then, on line 11 of Form 1040, we'll subtract line 10 from line 9, and we end up with Emily's adjusted gross income. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video where we will go over the next line, line 12 of Form 1040, which is for standard and itemized deduction.